And big news this morning that for the first time in 12 years, we see a new brand at the top of the Brand Z Global Top 100, and we see the dominance of Google and Apple after those 12 years of either brand being in the top spot finally being broken.
It's been good company. So why is Amazon managing to push ever higher? Is it just the amount of stuff they're selling, the fact that they're in online space, but also now hardware with some of their speaker devices? What's the magic sauce?
Exactly as you mentioned, what's the magic sauce? That's a great question. I think what Amazon do incredibly well is they take the consumer and they look at what sits at the heart of what we want today. It has changed our behaviour, it's changed our expectations in terms of things like delivery, but it's what we would call an ecosystem brand. So that is a brand that plays in more than one space, it plays in more than one category, and what it does is it takes the same sort of principles into those categories, and that is all about making consumers' lives easier and understanding what makes us tick and what's going to make us go out and buy things.
What's exciting here, I think, is that we see finally Asian brands starting to push through and appear on this list. And one of the challenges over the last 20 years, it seems to me, for the Indians, the Chinese and others, is that they've had no front office and they've been very poor at representing themselves as a global opportunity. They've sat behind and they've been manufacturers or they've been service providers. What do you think this now tells us about how much momentum there is for Asian brands to increasingly grow their presence on this top 100 list?
You're absolutely right. If we look back to when the ranking started, we had about 5 Asian brands in the ranking. We now have 23. 15 of those alone are Chinese. But as you say, there's Indian brands, there's brands from Vietnam, Thailand, other Asian markets coming in there. What they're now doing is playing on a global stage. So, a great way for a brand to grow is obviously to increase the number of markets it plays in. So, for Chinese brands, they're often heavily dominating within a local market, and what they are doing is keeping kind of other global brands out of those markets. But increasingly, now what we see is they are moving into other markets.
To what extent do you think the trade war has perhaps backfired somewhat on President Trump by actually highlighting the names of some prominent Chinese products and brands at this point? I mean, Huawei wasn't exactly unknown, but it was hardly a household name on everybody's lips before the president started talking a lot about it.
I mean, Huawei is still a pretty big brand, and most of us, certainly in the UK, would know it. But I don't think it's damaged them significantly, because actually I think what they've been able to do is say, well, there are other markets out there that we can go and play in, and they capitalise on that. You mentioned, you talked about that earlier in the programme. So for brands, sitting and perhaps struggling with the trade war, it certainly may well have slowed growth. We see growth in the ranking slowing slightly compared to last year. It's now 7% year on year, but it hasn't certainly hurt any of these brands significantly.
Hi, I'm Joanna Bersecci, and thank you for watching. You can check out more of our videos by clicking on the boxes on the screen. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more from CNBC International. Thank you for watching.